Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Ochs with the SmartSocial.com podcast. Today, we're talking about colleges, and I have an expert here who is not only amazing at getting your kids into college or thinking about the future, but she just got her daughter into 6 colleges, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to share the upside, the downside, laugh with each other. Today, I have a friend of mine, Sonja Montiel. She's with collegeconfidence.net. You can click the links below or in the bio or wherever you want to go to learn more about collegeconfidence.net. Sonja, quick background on her. She's spoken at several of our conferences that we host here in Los Angeles. She's taught people really how to think and why they need to think early about getting their kid in the right track to prep for college. There's a lot of biases and misinformation. Today, she's going to give you some of that stuff. But today, the reason why I'm beaming is because her daughter got into 6 schools. They're touring a few of them. She's bonding. This is the case study of a lifetime, and I am her biggest cheerleader. Sonja, welcome to the video and the podcast.
Thank you, Josh. Really excited to be here. Thanks for that great intro.
Hey, you're welcome. It was very natural. Okay, so let's talk about Bella. She's 18 years old. What happened?
We completed her process really early. I want to give a little bit of a background because I've been in college admissions for about 20 years. So I finally have my first, challenge of being the mother of 18 going through the college process. And one might think like, oh my gosh, you're the college counselor. You should have all the tools. This should be a no-brainer. But I think every parent listening will know that it doesn't matter. What I call the law of love is very true. There is that boundary between teens listening to you as a mother versus a professional. And I want to give a background of Bella, being 18, she's a laid back person. She's not competitive. She's not a fighter in terms of competing for as many opportunities as she could. And being a soccer player, growing up being a soccer player, I'm a competitive person.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the foundation of our college planning relationship, is really trying to find that balance. And there were times where I was frustrated inside my mind, like, how do I get her competitive and wanting more? But through this whole process, she's really taught me about being calm, centered, sure of herself. So we started in August in this pace that was comfortable to her. We completed her 8 applications October 25th. So every application was early. She got 2 acceptances by November 1st.
Wow.
She's received 6 acceptances as of today. And
great.
Many of her friends need to wait until March, April. So they're still in the waiting game for months, which can be terrifying and, frustrating for seniors. So we get to plan her trips to her top 4 universities in April.
So as a mother, daughter, as a family, you guys are going to 4 of the schools, which this is amazing because you planned early. This isn't for everybody. And, and I went to junior college because I couldn't afford USC, but I knew I wanted to go to USC or UCLA. I went to junior college for 3 years. I didn't have somebody amazing like you. I had some family members. So for those of you listening, like my daughter doesn't know what she wants to do and I can't afford college, that's fine. But talk to a professional. You could go to collegeconfidence.net. I don't get paid to do this. Today is 100% free. I'm with my friend to help you people. But you need to go somewhere and you need to start early. Today is about talking to you about the why. And that's why I'm so pumped up, is early, talking to people, learning, letting your kid be a part of it as well. Okay, so talk to us about, you applied to 8 of them. You've heard back from 6. Why do people need to look at this early?
I think that, and I'm trying to educate parents, asking the question of why is the absolutely first question that should be asked. It's not, why are you going to college, or why have you chosen these colleges? Many parents many adults, educators as well, they begin with that question, and it's terrifying to a teenager because they don't know. They shouldn't know. But why are you interested in these certain things that you do in high school? Why, do you like this certain class? So focusing on what they enjoy or what they do well will lead to the later whys of, oh, so you're thinking about college. Why would that support your strengths or your interests or your curiosities? And asking those why questions will build up to the eventual why these colleges. Why are these? So can I just bring this really important research study that just came up from Stanford? It's called Challenge Success. Every parent needs to read it. It's my homework assignment when I start my practice, is parents need to read. It's again, Challenge Success. because it shows that engagement, okay, so that's the key word, engagement in a college setting or in the community, whether it's high school, college, or career, is going to determine success in terms of happiness and financial, health. And I think every parent, that's what we worry about is, oh my God, will my child be happy? Will they be financially, independent? Well, engagement is what we should be measuring, not the ranking of a college or where the college is or how close it is to family, but how well will they engage in college, which leads to showing evidence of how they engage in high school.
That's amazing. Okay, I love it. I love where we're going. Okay, so you mentioned you have a phrase. We need to break the one-dimensional barrier in the application. And you mentioned how you're able to do that, being original and authentic in the application. How do we break the one-dimensional barrier in the application? What are a couple of your tips? Or what did you do with your daughter? Let's keep it real. What did you do with your daughter who's like, hey, I'm willing to accept this college? What'd you do to get her original, authentic, and to be 3D?
For Bella, it was really, she works. That was her main activity. She chose to work at a gymnastics center with hundreds of families and children. And she also participated in some university programs at UCLA because she was interested in creative writing and storytelling.
Love it.
So for her, ironically, I couldn't push her to get to an online presence. I did, though, coach her through her social media platforms.
Love it.
So we had these conversations about, and it's awesome. Our relationships was very transparent in terms of, what are you posting online? What story does that tell about you, being a storyteller yourself? So she didn't create her own website, but she was careful and strategic about what she posted on Snapchat and Instagram. Those are her two main platforms.
Love it.
And like Seattle U, one of the U universities, actually with the admissions packet, there was a handwritten note by the admission counselors and said, it is evident throughout your application that you are the storyteller that you say to be. And, colleges will never reveal, hey, we've been looking at your online profile, but it is fair game. Higher Ed did a report in last April that now it's increased 68% of college admissions report that social media platforms are fair game. It's not a weighted factor, but, whether it's positive or negative, it can definitely influence a result.
Yeah. And oftentimes they're not going to tell you, hey, in fact, very, very rarely will they ever tell you, hey, we didn't pick you because we saw this.
Correct. But so one of the things, going back to your question, a strategy that I use, because that sense of belonging, colleges want to admit a student that will, one, succeed academically, right? Because if they do that, they want them to get the degree at the college. They don't want them transferring out. Mm-hmm. They want to say, will the student commit to us and stay here and get their degree here? But not only that, they want to measure how will the student engage with us? Mm-hmm. Because the more engaged they are, the more successful they'll become. Mm-hmm. And will they be lifelong representatives of our university? Mm-hmm. So there is a huge business model in terms of loyalty. And, so it's not about, admissions isn't about, oh, is the student good enough? Because that's what teens think, or even parents think, like, are you good enough for us? It's not that question at all. It's, are you committed to this university? Do you know us well enough? And how will you engage and find a sense of belonging here? And so, that is, go ahead. Sorry.
I love it. And I tell parents that as well. I say, look, it's more about, UCLA had 120,000 applications last year or something like that. A few years ago it was 100,000. Now it's close. Some parents came up and said it's 120,000. And what they're really thinking, and maybe not everybody's going to Google you, but what they're really thinking, just like what you said, is we've got alumni that are donating money. They're critiquing us. There could be these things. We want to brag to them. Look how amazing our people are. They're a part of our culture. They're working hard. We do not have to hold the hands of the children that are here because they are little leaders. They're bringing people together. They're doing awesome stuff. They're studying. They're authentic. They're cool. And look at this vibrant community. They want you no matter your background. But I tell students, the one thing that they do want from you is a positive attitude. They want somebody positive and and that has a little bit of gratitude, because they're going to give you 4 years of awesomeness, 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is. They're going to give you awesomeness, and they want, no matter your background, no matter anything about you, they want somebody positive, and they will judge us based on what we have done with what we have. Right? And that's what your daughter has done, is said, I'm going to tell you the story about I worked and here's what I've done, what I have. Now, one more thing I want to do with your family, and we've already talked about this. Everybody listening right now, we have a program called Brand Your Instagram, and it builds a website for you so that when you're applying to college, we believe that a middle schooler should have a website. Crazy. That's because before they get on Instagram, if they've thought about, with the parents' permission, building a website. My 5-year-old nephew has a website. I built it with him. And instead of iPad time, we build a little website. And he's so proud of it. He dictates what each one of the pictures should say below it. And we slowly are molding him into a careful online being so that when he gets on Instagram in 10 years or whatever, he'll be like, no, I know exactly what my online presence is like. So we believe a website, then Instagram. It could be vice versa. It doesn't matter. Now, you've already branded Bella on Instagram, which is amazing. But we want to work with you to brand a website that shows the passion, purpose, and projects, so that internship, that sorority, that fraternity, whatever that is, opportunities start coming to us outside of college admissions, but everywhere. They're going to find it. I spoke to somebody yesterday. This is kind of a funny story. I was in an amazing school in Texas. I'm so honored to get the chance to speak to them. After the parent night, Sonja, a counselor from the school came up. She was, I don't think a college counselor, she was, I don't know, whatever. She was really, really adorable. And she said, when you asked a certain question, I was hesitant to raise my hand because I work here and I think my boss was in the back. But let me tell you a little story. She said, when I was applying here, I was just finished my master's to become a counselor in a master's degree. And in one of the classes, they required us to build a website about our defense of our 3-year master's program. At the end, you have to say, what did you learn? Defend that diploma, which a lot of people are saying do that in high school as well. And she created that. It was clean. It was professional. It was nice. It put her best foot forward as a counselor, as a person. When they were interviewing her, they saw that printed out. She saw it printed out on the desk. Her future boss, which gave her the job, had printed that website out, and it became a part of her application. She said, I think that's kind of why I got that. None of my competitors really had that. I had a website, and it put a face with a name with all this stuff. It was a 3D version of who I am. So anyways, that's just a little bit about what you did as a mom. Branding your daughter's Instagram is amazing. I couldn't be more proud of what you're doing. What's next for your daughter? As you're now picking through, what do you tell her? How to be smart online, how to be safe online, how to continue to put that best foot forward? What do you advise Bella?
I think that conversation won't change because we started early. It's just making it consistent and maintaining an open dialogue. But I think it's basically what you've introduced. It's, hey, take a little bit of a risk. Now let's help you build a website. Because you're right, the virtual platform is your new handshake to potential employers and internships, service projects, whatever that might be. And, if you just had one Instagram account, it's kind of like that weaker handshake that you get.
Yep.
But when you have something robust, like I've got a couple of platforms here, I've got this comprehensive website about me, that's like that strong, firm handshake that's, builds that impression.
Agreed.
And just so you know, that I do suggest, I highly recommend that high school students do this and insert that into their application.
Talk to us about that. Where would they put their URL of their website?
There's a couple of strategic places. There are some colleges that downright just say, hey, enter your website here. So that's nice. And then, if any college asks for a link, they will be looking at your online presence as part of the review. But if they don't, within the activities list, you could say, check more information out. And then here's a tiny URL, because usually the description of the activities are really kind of limited. So you can get your link within an activity description, or you can just put it under additional information and say, I didn't have enough space to really, describe my involvement and engagement in high school, but check out my website. And that every application will have an additional information section.
I love that.
The admission counselor can take it or not, but I want to paint this picture. Many admission counselors are in their home or at Starbucks reviewing hundreds of applications, and it's just words on a screen. So I bet, because I was an admission counselor in my past, if I saw a link, I want to break up that, uniform way of, kind of staring at a screen. I want to see someone breathing and living and singing and contributing. And that would only enhance my virtual relationship with that applicant.
I love it. That is terrific. And I think that's so important. I want to show you here just real quick, one of the students that we built a website for as an example. For everybody that's listening right now online, we're going to go to a junior in Palos Verdes, an amazing young woman named Emmy. I can't brag about her enough. She's just amazing. Emmy Renner. This is an example of what you parents can do to brand your student. I'm Palos Verdes High School student, and look, she volunteers, interns, and travels. Now, this mom and dad of Emmy, at a very young age, Sonja, just like what you did with Bella, just started getting their daughter involved in lots of extracurricular activities. And then she started thinking, wow, I have a ton of stuff now put on the website. Friendship Foundation is one of the things she works with. She helps special needs community. And each year as she goes back, she's developed an awesome friendship with one of the students. And it has turned into videos and all kinds of projects. She has something amazing to talk about. Then she's got a project with an assemblyman. I mean, look, this young woman, they're going to print this out and go, this is a 3-dimensional version of her application. We discovered you doing amazing things that are even better than what you said on your application. They're congruent. Look at, here's you at Angkor Wat. Here's you traveling. It's not bragging. It's instead of a student, our goal is that when somebody says, tell me about yourself, that they've gone to collegeconfidence.net to put all that in the application so they get that interview. But when they say, tell me about yourself in a real life interview for an internship or anywhere else, they're able to say, well, I can tell you about myself, but I can also show you. Like, do you have a web browser open? Can we go to this? And here's a picture. And then here's the 3 things I stand for: purpose, passion, projects, and all the things I'm working on. Here's the all these things. So any of the parents that are listening right now, even if your kid is already accepted, it's time to really just start thinking about how will adults see them. And I want to leave you with one thing, and then I'm going to give you last word, Sonja. Anyone that's listening to this right now, please go Google your child. Go search online and find out what comes up. If there's anything from the past that was inappropriate that you're like, oh, but I posted that 7 years ago, that just like a wardrobe, if I was to have something I was wearing 7 years ago, it might feel awkward for me. It's not the normal Josh that now has himself together. So I might take that down or take it out of my wardrobe. And the same is true for you. Anything that you see that you don't like, consider taking that down. But Google is the place to see your online brand. And guess what? It's free, and everybody seems to use it, especially employers. Sonja, do I have it wrong? Set me straight.
No, you do not. No, you do not have it wrong. You have it absolutely right. I think one thing that I just, with especially parents, I truly believe that parents are the best college counselors for their teen. And I'm actually creating a new course platform to really train parents to be the best college counselor for their teen. One thing that is so important is to raise the why question as early as possible in a way that kind of opens the dialogue and this trust and this transparency before they become a teen. So it's kind of a no-brainer. When they're teenagers, they just you're part of their life in an organic way. And if I just want to do a plug-in, Bella and I wanted to capture this kind of really unique rite of passage and journey between her and I, and Dad as well, but the podcast is just between her and I. So Bella and I created a podcast called Angst, and it just follows her. We just have these weekly conversations. It's unrehearsed. Basically, the assignment is, hey, let's just have 2 questions for each other, and we don't know what they are. And it's 10 minutes. And hopefully that may be a role model, maybe not, or just kind of an example of what conversations can be between a parent and teen. But if you keep that there, then the enhancement of future opportunities and how to project those opportunities, they're going to listen more to what you have to say. Hopefully, right? Never a guarantee, but.
I love that. And I also love what you said about the power. You're having a wonderful dialogue with your daughter, a close relationship, but what you've basically indirectly said is that the love that you can have for your child isn't everything. You're going to need a community and a village to help that child, because Bella is going to look to an uncle for certain things, to other people for certain things. And that's why any parents that are listening or watching this right now, if you're frustrated and your daughter or son won't listen to you about college or being safe online or whatever that is, bring somebody else in. You can go to collegeconfidence.net. You can go to smartsocial.com and learn more about how to brand your kid online, have a dialogue, a mentor session with us, and really just protect your kid so that there is no one app that's going to get your kid into all the colleges. There's no one behavior. There's no one app to keep your kids safe. You can't outsource safety. But having a dialogue with your kids and having a village around that model awesome behavior is going to get your kid thinking early and often about college, about being wise online, because there will be a new app. There will be a new Snapchat that they'll pop on. They'll hide from you. But we want them to see what positive behavior is, to be able to go to a trusted adult, whether it's Sonja, whether it's me, whether it's somebody else, to make sure that they're being as wise as possible online. And that all starts with you parents, is saying, I might not know it all. I'm going to find people to surround my kids, aunts, uncles, teachers, principals, whoever that is. They're all here to help. You do not have to have everything or know everything.
Right. Well, and the thing too, I think for parents who are feeling nervous or frustrated or confused, I feel like you should leave this, this podcast or this video thinking, I have two people in my village I can add, and that's College Confidence and Safe Smart Social. They have us.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Okay, I'm going to leave you with last words. What would you tell people going into 2019 that we're doing? We're in the second month. What do you tell people? What can they do this month as they're prepping for their future?
To the students, right?
Yeah, for students. What can parents do to talk with their students if they're, let's say, a sophomore or junior and they're starting to think about things? What should they do?
This is going to be a little bit, kind of romantic, but important. The world is theirs. This is a time to really plan about how do you want to engage for the rest of the year? Like, what are you excited about? What communities do you want to be involved in? Or for the communities that you are involved in, how do you want to take that extra step in terms of responsibility, leadership roles? And then, of course, that transpire to what your presence is, not just online, but just presence as a human being and the people that you're going to impact, and then plan out a action plan that fills that goal.
I love it. That's amazing. For all of you that are listening here today, you can learn more at smartsocial.com, where we have a parent university program that's an affordable monthly fee, and then also a brand your Instagram program, which just teaches your kids how to be positive online, how to make sure every opportunity comes to them. So they're putting their best foot forward. By no means do Sonja or I at all want your kid to be fake. We want their real identity, their originality, and them to be authentic and vulnerable in that application and online in a positive way while they're still being safe. You can learn more at smartsocial.com. Click the links below to learn more about Sonja and what she does and how awesome she is, and her amazing case study, which is her daughter, Bella, and how she can do that for you as well. Once again, I don't get paid to do this. I do this because it's fun. Sonja and I love doing this, to share this with people like you. You can also go to smartsocial.com and take our webinar, learn more about our new conference that is the conference called Smart Social Week, and it's a whole week of safety. It's not too late to pick up an early bird ticket. I hope you'll join us. If nothing else, I hope you will consider being light, bright, and polite, because your kids are watching and you're modeling behavior right now that they're all doing. You can pick up a copy of one of our books on Amazon. Thanks to all of you that are listening. Go click one of the links below and join us. Sonja, you are amazing. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Take care.